Today on the channel, we're looking at the second deluxe G.I.Joe Classified Series figure, Tripwire, Apsara, and M.A.C.L.E.O.U.D. on the way I got it figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, Classified fans? Well, I got it figured back with another G.I.Joe Classified review. This time we're looking at number 78. Tripwire, Apsara, and M.A.C.L.E.O.U.D. I got this figure from Hasbro Pulse on pre-order. Came in, and I've had it for, I guess, about a week. You know, when it was released. And so, because now I have a big backlog of G.I. Joe Classified figures to review, we're getting them all in. And he is number 3 in our week of G.I. Joe Classified series videos. I started with all the explosive guys, so he's part 3 in the blow-up crew. Tunnel Rat, Firefly, and now Tripwire. I was very excited when they announced this figure. Which is ironic because Tripwire is one of my least favorite G.I. Joe characters. But they made me care about Tripwire, is how I put it. The equipment he comes with, you know, he's a perfect figure kind of for the deluxe treatment. Of course, they gave him like a Hurt Locker style outfit to go along with his normal togs and everything, and that's cool. I just think it's a great update. It's a great means of, you know, when it's logical, a figure being a deluxe is fine. You know, I got the Snow Serpent coming up for review, and I haven't opened it or anything, but my feeling about that is, did it need to be a deluxe? You know, maybe you can make the case about that for Snow Job, who I don't have at this time, but I'll be getting him soon. It can make sense where it makes sense. You know, I don't want to like poo-poo the idea of deluxe figures, but I do think there are some characters who lend themselves to deluxe figures, like a character like maybe Salvo, or a character like definitely like Fast Draw. You know, that's a character that could be easily, it probably should be a deluxe figure. So, you know, those characters are sprinkled throughout A Real American Hero, and hopefully, you know, we'll see them in some shape or form. But right now they're doing appropriate ones, and then ones that we just kind of turn them into deluxe guys for an extra price point. And while, yeah, Tripwire might be the latter, where they just kind of made him a deluxe guy, it does make sense for his job, for his, you know, for his specialty. It makes a lot of sense. So I'm here for this one, and we're gonna go through it. So as normal, we're gonna look at the packaging, look at the figure, all of his accessories. I'm gonna try and get through it quickly, even though I've wasted 3 minutes talking about it already. And do some comparisons and get you out of here with some final thoughts. So, starting off with the packaging as normal. You got a pretty big package, so I'm going to stick it back here. Your signature G.I. Joe Classified Series toy photography on the front of the box, which we now know is going to be on the back of the box once they start with the window packaging again. A pretty nice picture, I guess, although Tripwire doesn't seem to know that he's being watched. You know, but he is kind of a clumsy character, hence the name Tripwire. And you know, it's appropriate, it's cool. With this ice shelf, it looks almost like he's in the Mass Device episode. And of course he's got Apsara, his little rat with him. And he's got a nice little picture here. And then he comes with, obviously, a plethora of equipment, as he should, being a deluxe figure. There's a larger picture of his art, box art. And this is the most determined tripwire I've ever seen. Not to say he's not good at his job, but he's kind of a weird, klutzy, zen type of guy. So, of course, you got your inset here. But first, we got to go to the QR code, number 78 in the series. If you want to use that, for, you know, get it for whenever the QR codes actually work. Then you've got your vast array of pieces. So not counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's go ahead and count these things as 5 because they all come off. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Looks like he comes with 19 different accessories. It's a lot. Definitely a lot. So, tripwire stands at 6.2 inches. It's about the average height of a G.I.Joe classified figure. It's got Apsara, the little rat there, and M.A.C.L.E.O.U.D, which stands for Mobile Armored Control Lever for Explosive Ordnance Disposal. So, technically speaking, tripwire has the exact same job as Tunnel Rat, except they go about it in completely different ways. Tunnel Rat is like a Vietnam style figure, character, you know, the whole run-in with a pistol, with a flashlight in your mouth, or a flashlight in one hand, pistol in the other, and a knife between your teeth. He's totally a Vietnam character. He looks like a Vietnam character. Whereas tripwire is a more modern mine detector type of dude, but it's the same thing. They get rid of bombs. That's their job. So of course you got tripwire's combat symbols. He's got a 2 Ordnance, a 4 Minesweeper, a 2 explosives, and a 3 Siegecraft. Now, 3 ordnance disposal. So, you know, they kind of make Tunnel Rat better at his job than tripwire is. I don't know. You know, I don't know. Sometimes, you know, the symbols all mean something, but they're sort of subjective to the character because there's not really anything to say that this guy's better than this guy. This thing that they do, that's the same. But it seems to me, the older the character, the less skilled they tend to be. You know, the original Joes get really low scores. I don't really like that. Doesn't make sense. But anyway, that's tripwire's symbols and my commentary on that. That is our look at the packaging. So, looking at tripwire's equipment will be up next. I'll be right back. All right. So we're going to look at tripwire's equipment. I'll start with all this regular stuff first. So like the stuff for just the classic tripwire. So we have his mine detector. And it's got nice paint apps. You know, doesn't look like necessarily anything super duper to write home about. But it's nice enough. Then we've got this cord, which hooks to the mine detector. And then we've got this backpack that is very similar to, in appearance to the original 1983 backpack. And we have a hook to store the Minesweeper. And you can just kind of stick it on there like that. Nice paint apps here. Some digital stuff going on there. And then of course you got the mines. So he has mines. And they stick it to the back of the backpack. At least one of them does. Like so. Then you have another one, which I guess he's meant to find. But they have these pegs on the bottom. Not sure why they didn't, you know, especially since they did it with Firefly, why they didn't have a peg sticking out of the backpack to stick this in. So this one doesn't have anywhere to store. I guess he's got to find it. Then you've got this sort of neck protection brace, the small one. And you've got soul weapon, normal weapon, which looks like an M911, which just happens to be the only weapon that Tripwire seemed to be a qualified expert in using, according to his 1983 file card. So it was nice they gave him that. It definitely looks like a 911. Just stick it in his holster. I'll get back to that in a minute. And then you have his helmet, which is a sort of update of the classic helmet. It's too bad they couldn't get actual goggles. It's just a solid green helmet with paint apps. But if, you know, it would have been nice if they could have done something where you would have been able to see his eyes behind there, like you get on the box. I mean, it's not, you know, 100% bad, or, you know, just because you can't. But I'm just saying that it might be nice if you could. And then here is Apsara, which as far as I know is a new character, new pet to be introduced. And it's an interesting pet because it's a giant rat that has to be on the same team as, you know, Timber and Junkyard. So I don't know how he keeps it safe. No articulation, but it's nicely detailed. Looks good. Then you have the remote control device here. No paint apps or anything like scrap irons. And that is the device meant to control M.A.C.L.E.U.D. It has the swivels, the arm, go all the way around for bomb sniffing operations, bomb eliminating operations. And I don't believe that it stores anywhere, sticks anywhere. It's just a free-floating kind of robot. Then you got your Hurt Locker type outfit. So obviously you can take the vest off, change it out for this number here. And then you got a second helmet, which is also like a Hurt Locker style helmet. That's his accessories. And of course, before we look at the figure, I do want to put some of the accessories on as we go through it. Remove his head and put the shield on. His neck, like so. So before I do anything else, we're gonna look at him up close. He's got an interesting portrait. They need to make one of these for barbecue. Maybe barbecue should have been a deluxe figure. So there you go. So looking at his articulation, as long as he's got the vest on, the pauldrons on, he's going to be limited somewhat in his ability to do a T. But he does have all the normal G.I.Joe Classified Series articulation. He's got the drop down legs, of course. He's got the boot cut. He's got the ankle rockers. He's got the thigh swivel, of course. Head looks up, head looks down, ish. Has the chicken neck. So we need to complete his look. So we will put his helmet on. Like so. So that's sort of his classic look right there. Guess we should put the backpack on just to make it official. So this is how he should look if you want him to look straight out of 1983, sort of. And yeah, he looks cool. This is most likely how I'll keep him. I kind of like this look better. But before we commit to that, we are, of course, going to change him out and put on the other version of the outfit, the sort of Hurt Locker-esque version. So, of course, to get it off, you need to remove the head. It's going to be, well, you may not need to, but it's going to be easier to get it off. Remove the neck shield, although I suspect you can just have them both on. So when you remove it, you can get the rest of his articulation. He's got that crunch. Back goes about there. Waist swivel, of course. So there you go. Now, definitely going to do it like this. We're gonna put on the Hurt Locker vest. So it did seem like it was going to go in easy. There we go. I think. And it does not really want to go on that good. I'm probably doing it wrong. The mechanism is simple enough, but getting it to actually go in has not been all that easy. We might have to settle. So then you sort of just stick the neck piece on. Might be easier to get the helmet off if the head is attached. There we go. I guess not. I don't want to damage his face taking his helmet off. Go. Gonna put his head back on. I was expecting a pop, but no pop. Then we put on the Hurt Locker type helmet. And even though the vest won't stay together, you get the drift. This is sort of like once you can't really use the robot anymore, you gotta get in close and disarm something. So yeah, you get the drift. That's the idea. Like I said, I mean, it's cool that he comes with this. And if I had more time to futz around with it, I would, you know, get it 100% cinched up. But honestly, this is all bonus stuff. And I made the decision pretty much as soon as I saw everything that I would just keep them as the normal looking tripwire. And hey, you know, that sort of makes a case against making these figures deluxe, because yeah, it's cool. I bought him because he had all this extra stuff, but I'm not really going to use all the extra stuff. So, you know, you got to ask yourself, why am I paying this extra money? I like the figure though. You know, I still like the idea. I don't want to make it sound like I'm out on the idea, because I'm not. I'm just saying, you know, you're not going to get two of these to display it both ways. I mean, maybe somebody will. G.I.Joe Classified fans could be, let's just say, dedicated. This vest goes back on much easier, too. That's another thing. But, you know, like as not, he's probably going to be displayed like this. So I guess what I'll do before I put this helmet back on, put his gear on. There. Move his his bomb disposal equipment out of the way. Let's take a look at M.A.C.L.E.O.U.D. So M.A.C.L.E.O.U.D doesn't have any like actual wheels that actually move or anything. It's just a big solid brick. But you do have this armature, and it's got the, you know, light paint app for the camera, I guess. And the arm can armature around like that. But that's pretty much it. You got this arm, it swings 360, and you can flip it around, you know, pretty much almost 360. That's M.A.C.L.E.O.U.D. And you can control M.A.C.L.E.O.U.D with this remote control. So based on his shirt underneath this blast vest, I wonder who they can reuse that for, because we know it'll get reused for sure. But it's a pretty smart looking figure, just like this. So let's do some comparisons with some other G.I. Joe Classified figures. Alright, so some quick comparisons for Tripwire. We've got Tunnel Rat, we recently reviewed. He stands at 6.0 inches. And we've got Spirit, who also stands at 6'2", 6.2 inches. And Spirit's not here for no reason. He is in and of himself a clue as to the next Joe that'll get reviewed. Next up, we've got Stalker, who's 6'3". So just a tad bit taller. And then we've got a new channel favorite, Big Ben, who's 6'5", who's taller, but you get the point. So there you go. Some pretty standard sizes with tripwire. Now I'm gonna put his helmet on. Little rat buddy, like so. There you go. I'm gonna move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on G.I. Joe Classified Series number 78, Tripwire, Apsara, and M.A.C.L.E.O.U.D. You know, I think it's a great package overall. Again, the Hurt Locker outfit, while cool, you know, it's a deviation from, you know, what you kind of know. And the backpack, not exactly, I mean, not the backpack, but the vest, not exactly clasping all that well. Does detract from it a little bit, but not overly. As you can so just so you can see, he's not even, I don't even have it hooked onto the figure. It's not on the figure. I still can't really get it to really clasp in there. And I just think it's just because of how they ship it. But, you know, what are you gonna do? To get the classic look, it's not really gonna impede you all that much. But you know, when you pay $35 for a figure, you definitely want the stuff to work. I don't know, the Apsara could be a subtraction, doesn't really do anything one way or the other. You didn't have it back in the day, and it's, you know, it's cool to add new things or whatever, but you know, whatever, it's just something new. Maybe he's got a train to sniff out bombs. All told, I'm going to give this figure a 9 out of 10. You know, it is a deluxe offering. It's got a lot of stuff, a lot of paint apps on said stuff. You know, I do like the touch of, even though this thing is all one solid thing, it does have the eye on there. I do like that. But this worked well enough as tripwire to, you know, to give him a 9 out of 10. I'm not upset that I bought it. I'm just not gonna use this stuff over here. It's not gonna do it after opening it and playing around with it. So that's gonna do it for this one. G.I. Joe Classified Week Day 4 will be tomorrow. And we're gonna switch gears and get into some trouble with the next Cobra operative. Till then, everybody stay safe. Please come back and tune in for the next video. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.
The way I got it figured.